Despite an archive war, Indian raids, Mexican forays, and an insolvent government, Texians still indulged in a vast array of amusements. The type of pastimes they chose depended in large measure on their gender and class. But when it came to having a good time, many of the conventional social barriers fell like the walls of Jericho. In a population so small and democratic, it was possible to rub shoulders with and talk to the Republic's great men. Gustav Dressel described one cold night in Houston City during the time it served as the nation's capital.
When fall came with its northers, and there were only 3 stores in the whole of Houston, we used to light fires in front of the saloon in the evening, stand around them, and enjoy, not excepting the president, hot drinks with merry speeches.
He would have been aware that old Sam Jacinto was a keen enthusiast of both hot drinks and merry speeches. Whatever their rank or station, rare was the Texian who did not enjoy dancing. Old settler Noah Smithwick described a country dance in the early days of Austin's first colony.
The floor was cleared for dancing. It mattered not that the floor was made of puncheons. When young folks danced those days, they danced. They didn't glide around. They shuffled and double shuffled, wired and cut the pigeon's wing, making the splinters fly. There were some of the boys, however, who were not provided with shoes, and moccasins were not adapted to that kind of dancing floor, and moreover, they couldn't make noise enough. But their more fortunate brethren were not at all selfish or disposed to put on airs. So when they had danced a turn, they generously exchanged footgear with the moccasined contingent and gave him the ring. And we just literally kicked every splinter off that floor before morning. The fiddle, manipulated by Jesse Thompson's man Mose, being rather too weak to make itself heard above the din of clattering feet, we had in another fellow with a clevis and pen to strengthen the orchestra, and we had a most enjoyable time.
The parties of the gentry were a tad more refined. Kentucky native John Hunter Herndon recalled an 1838 ball in Houston City. It displayed the cream of Texas society. 40 gentlemen and as many ladies appeared in full frippery. Stylish was each man and stunning each woman. Herndon, a college-educated attorney, was in his element. Had a fine set, supper, good wines, and interesting ladies. He declared the festivities equal to a Kentucky ball. High praise indeed. A gaffe occurred when a lady lost her balance and fell flat on the floor. She should not have been self-conscious, for later a gentleman also came to his marrow bones. Herndon was too cultivated to mention it aloud, but he noticed something odd about Houston women. The ladies have rather large feet, owing perhaps to their having gone barefooted a little too long. Having relished a delightful evening, Herndon stumbled back to his hotel around 4 a.m. Quilting bees customarily preceded the dances. They provided newlyweds quilts for their marriage bed, a gift which was both functional and symbolic. But such occasions also gave women a chance to visit, discuss their children, and share the latest gossip. Yet, as one early settler described them, these events were not the exclusive domain of the ladies.
The quilt was stretched between 4 slats and the corners each suspended by a rope to the ceiling in the best room. Now all the ladies are expected to come in early, as the quilt has to be finished before the real fun begins. The quilters soon take their places, and the work begins on all sides. The gents on the ground are expected to roll up the sides as fast as needed, to pass the thread and scissors, and with anecdotes and small talk to entertain the workers. At last the wonderful quilt is finished. The frames are removed, the table spread, the company all called in, and joy unconfined rules the hour. The sound of the violin expedites further preparations. We all danced a reel.
Most Texas men enjoyed games of chance. Rare was the tavern that did not provide a gaming table. Attempting to curb vice, Houston city officials passed an anti-gambling ordinance in 1837. Residents mocked such decrees. District court records revealed several indictments for dealing faro, for permitting gambling, and playing cards. The same registers, however, indicate few convictions. Gambling was just too ingrained in the Southern character, and few were willing to forego this popular diversion. It thrived in large towns and small hamlets. In 1840, Washington on the Brazos could boast only 350 inhabitants. Of those, one visitor pronounced 50 to 100 as
gamblers, horse racers, etc. In almost every other house on the public street, you could see games of all sorts being played, both day and night, yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
laying bets may have been popular, but it was also perilous. Many games erupted into violence when despairing men lost all they owned. At other times, pistols flared and blades flashed amid charges of cheating. Racing combined the thrill of gambling with the passion for blooded horseflesh. Houstonians constructed a course at Post Oak that hosted mile and repeat races. By 1837, the Houston Jockey Club was open and flourishing. The spirit of the people for racing impressed one visitor from Natchez, Mississippi, where folks knew more than a little about the sport. In an article in the American Turf Register and Sporting magazine,
Now there's a mouthful.
he insisted that in 1837 he had witnessed Texians making side bets of $2,500, and that on one race. He was confident concerning the future activity in the new republic. Texas is going to be one of the greatest racing countries in the world to be racing and betting the way they do now. Alcohol consumption accompanied most public holidays. Of these, there were many. During the 1830s and 1840s, Christmas was not merely a day, but an entire season that ranged from early December and extended into early January. Texians also observed New Year's Eve, the anniversary of Andrew Jackson's victory at New Orleans, George Washington's birthday, Texas Independence Day, the 4th of July, and, of course, San Jacinto Day. Many echoed sentiments of one Methodist minister upon his first visit in 1837. Arriving in the capital at Houston City, he observed,
"Here I find much vice, gaming, drunkenness, and profanity the commonest."
but Texians never allowed such blue-nosed reproaches to hamper their pursuit of fun and frolic.